I was super hesitant to make this video because I know it's going to stir the pot and bring in the heat from the viewers. But
I don't want peace. I want problems, always!
Hey everyone, it's Mike. Today, we're going to test both the Lord of Vane and Fire Era relics to see which one actually delivers more damage. A lot of you keep saying how overpowered the Fire Era relic is, but it seems like that's just based on assumptions.
In an investigation, assumptions kill.
How can you be so sure if you haven't actually used it? The tests will be simple and straightforward. Using the home dummy, we can simulate specific scenarios to test the unique abilities of both relics. I'll be using Genos for this test, since his skill Incendiary Gun is so simple, just 1 tick, 1 second cooldown, and a 1 second delay. It's perfect for testing the cooldown of Fire Era's special effect. This initial test will demonstrate the difference between the two relics in a burst scenario, simulating real-world conditions such as one-shotting targets during field MVP hunts. Fire Era wins this round. While Lord of Vane provides a flat damage boost, Fire Era activates for 5 seconds and then has a 3-second cooldown. This means that during the cooldown, Fire Era offers lower DPS compared to Lord of Vane. Many players overlook or misunderstand this detail. To properly compare the DPS gain from Fire Era, it's important to consider the entire 8-second duration and average the results. After calculating the actual DPS within 8 seconds, which is the full cycle of Fire Era, it is now only about 13.5% higher than Lord of Vane. That's a lot lower than the first test. But wait, there's more. The first 2 tests both favored Fire Era. But what happens when the scenario shifts to favor Lord of Vane? Now, we switch the dummy to Kimura, a demi-human MVP. Fire Era doesn't affect already demi-human targets, but let's check how much the difference is in this case. Now that the test favors Lord of Vane, we can see that the result is similar to test 2, and we're just getting started. Next, we shift to Joel, a demi-human fire armor MVP. This is where Lord of Vane truly shines, as it excels in situations where your attack element is countered by the target's armor element, in this case fire against fire. Not only is Fire Era ineffective in this situation, but Lord of Vane's element coefficient increase is also playing a major role in its favor. The tables have turned, and now we're seeing an increase similar to the first test, but this time, Lord of Vane is coming out on top.
What?
So what's happening here? It seems both relics perform similarly when the conditions favor them. That's exactly why some players, myself included, switch relics on the fly. We just want our builds optimized. For the final test, let's see how both relics perform when Fire Era can work, and our attack element is countered by the target's armor element. I chose Magma Golem because both relics' special effects work well in this scenario. A 7% difference in favor of Fire Era. But don't forget, this is just burst damage. Remember Fire Era's cooldown? We haven't averaged that part yet. Let's calculate the average DPS and include the new data. Surprisingly, Lord of Vane still comes out on top in this round. The difference may be small, but hey, an advantage is still an advantage. These are my own tests, and I could be wrong. If you're unsure, I encourage you to do your own tests. I've tried to stay neutral when comparing both relics, and I believe I did a fair job. In conclusion, I believe both relics are equally valuable, each excelling in its own way if used strategically. Fire Era, for instance, is ideal for one-shotting certain Field Relic MVPs, while Lord of Vane shines in situations like Constellation Tower, where Convert has cooldown and many demi-human targets are present. However, Fire Era has little use in PvP. Lord of Vane, on the other hand, provides a solid raw damage boost, if that's what you need. Personally, I think both relics are worth having. That's why I crafted both. I love optimizing my builds to get the best results. One common misconception is that relics, especially Fire Era, are only for pay-to-win players. In reality, relics have been accessible to free-to-play players from the beginning. It just takes some luck opening URs. While dust can be farmed, with consistent effort, free-to-play players can realistically remold 1 or 2 relics each year. Take, for example, my partner's account. She was trying to get Yggdrasil Amber, but after opening 7 URs, the game gave her enough shards to craft both Lord of Vane and Fire Era instead. And just to be clear, this account is fully free to play. So, if you're trying to decide which relic to craft, I'd personally recommend going for Lord of Vane. It's generally a solid choice for all types of content. But if you already have the shards for Fire Era, then by all means go for it. And if you're like me, hardcore and with enough resources, craft both. In the end, it's your choice. I hope this video helps you decide and clears up some of the misconceptions about Fire Era.